Hello guys, welcome to episode 5 of the Wells Fit podcast. Today we've got a very, very special guest, my good friend and my client, Tony.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yep, this is Tony. He's been my client for a little while. We're also really, really close friends. We've been to Marbella together. He's been training with me for probably a year and a half now, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
We've been on a bit of a journey, and we're going to tell our story, how it's helped Tony, how fitness has helped Tony, and maybe we'll get some funny stories in there as well. So let's get started, mate. Why don't we tell everyone how we met and how we actually came to train together, shall we?
Yeah, so obviously I started working in an office. In that office there's a gym, and I remember seeing you quite a lot actually. Like, you used to run around the car park quite a lot there, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I used to think, who's these guys? You look pretty hench.
Who's this big Chinese dude?
Who's this big guy? Who's Bruce Lee's brother?
Jackie Chan.
No, I used to see you about.
Who's this Italian stallion?
Yeah, I used to see you about, and then I started going in the gym training with a couple of the girls from work at the time.
Of course it was girls.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. They no longer work with us, but at the time, we used to go in the gym, and I used to see you in there, and I think I asked you one time about a specific exercise, and I was kind of trying to get back in the gym then, and I used the girls as an excuse to go in there. Because I always need some sort of motivation to get me to the gym.
There's no better motivation than some pretty girls, is there?
But realistically, it wasn't enough. That gym wasn't the best, if I'm honest. And then you moved on, didn't you?
It was a bit of a hole.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hole. And then you moved on, didn't you, to another gym? I didn't see you for a while.
Yeah, it was about probably 4 or 5 months, I'd say, where I was in a different gym. And then what happened was I put out an ad, didn't I? And I was, it was like looking for 5 people who want to get in shape and sort out their life, something like that.
Yeah.
You sent me a long message on Instagram. We had a bit of a consultation, and then we started training together, didn't we?
Yeah, at that time, I knew I wanted to train. I mean, I'm in sales and stuff as well, and I know it's like when people think they want to make a difference, but they're not actually mentally prepared for it.
Yeah.
But I actually was. I was so fucking run down up to that point with work, and I'd been through the pandemic and lost the kind of work that I was doing. Then I'd started working in an office, so I'd started to pile weight on, which was the first time in my life I'd ever actually not had a six-pack.
Yeah.
I was always quite naturally gifted like that. So I started to feel a bit shit as well. A new industry, so I wasn't earning anywhere near as much money because I was starting again. So yeah, I just knew I was mentally ready. I said to myself, no, I need to do something. And I saw your ad and I messaged you because I just knew that you were the man for the job.
What I really liked about you was you're an action taker, man. Your words is everything to you.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of people sometimes where they message me and they're like, send me a big long essay like, Dom, this is my problem. This is why I want to get in shape. Like, please, can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, cool. Let's have a consultation call. Let's chat about it. We'll go through everything. I'll listen to their problems.
Yeah.
I'll come up with solutions for their problems, and we'll get to the end of the call and I'll be like, here's my coaching, do you want to sign up for it? And they're like, yeah, I love it, like, this is really good, this is going to solve all my problems, price is an issue, let's do it. And then we'll finish the call, and then later on in the evening they might be like, yeah, I'm just about to do it, and then they just never do it. And I'm like, bro, what was the point in that? Because you've got an issue that you want to sort out, and you're going to go through this same phase again where you're wanting to sort it out but you just don't. And then the same person will come to me 6 months later and they'll be like, now I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I just think, like,
still
that was
in the
6
same
months.
place.
Yeah, that was 6 months that you've just wasted, where you could have been making a difference on that thing that you wanted to improve on, but you, for whatever reason, decided not to take action. You're an action taker.
But yeah, well, the saying for me is that everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die. So everybody wants the results. Everybody wants to do it without putting any effort in. I've never been like that. If I say something, I will do it, because I feel it's, I think they call it being hung by your tongue. When you say it out there, you have to do it, because I always have the fear of embarrassing myself.
Yeah, but you've got like a code of honor that way, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same. If I say I'm going to do something, I will make it my life to make that happen, because it's flipping embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't really care about other people deep down, but it's like, if I've said to people, I'm going to do this, then I feel I have to do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like, you're embarrassment. Why are you saying that you're going to change and then you're the same?
You become a shit chatter then, don't you?
Yeah, you're talking shit.
And then everyone knows you as a shit chatter, and then everything you say becomes that person chatting shit.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. But it took me a little while in this time to get to that point. Before I messaged you, it took me a while to get there because I'd had so much shit going on outside in my personal life, and so it was the first time I'd really been that run down in life. Up until that point, I used to play a lot of sports, boxing. I always had a six-pack anyway from a young age, and it never really bothered me. I had an active job, but being in an office and earning less money than I'd ever earned before because I'd changed career.
That's when you put on a bit of weight, wasn't it?
Putting on weight, you know, and then being in the office and you're like, you know, I don't know, if you feel out of shape and you're in an office, and not that there was loads of good looking guys there or anything, because there wasn't, but it's just like when you put on a suit, you want to feel like powerful.
Yeah.
But I didn't at that time. I felt shit. Like I felt like my hair was shit at the time, and I'd had a hair. I went and had a hair transplant, but it was still growing, and I felt like my hair was shit. My fucking whole mood was shit. My aura was shit, and I'd putting on weight and stuff. And I knew I just wanted to do something. And it started for me with reaching out to you and getting into shape. That was the only way I saw that I could change things.
And then how did it feel once you started getting yourself in shape?
I'll tell you what, once I messaged you and you messaged back, like I felt like a weight was off my shoulders straight away before I'd even come to a session.
Yeah.
Because I thought, now it's kind of like I've reached out to somebody. So I've vented.
Yeah.
You know, I've vented, I've reached out, I've told somebody my problems because I was probably suffering in silence
Men do
for
that
a long
so
time.
often, mate. Men do that where they don't talk to anyone about their problems because you want to appear strong. And fair enough, I do think part of your masculine prerogative is to be strong, to lead the people around you.
Yeah.
But I do also think it's really important to have good men around you, or even a partner, who you can chat to about your problems.
Yeah.
And really come to what the solutions are then. Because I'm a solution-driven person. If I have a problem, I'm not going to sit there venting about it for days.
No.
I'm going to find out what the issue is, and then I'm going to go, right, that's the solution, let's get it done. And I think you did that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but it took a long time because I think I was being stubborn. It had been a long time coming. I knew I needed to do something. In the back of my head, I knew exactly what needed to happen, but I just wasn't prepared to do what it took to do it because I had to get my mindset right.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to you and reached out to you, that was like weight lifted off my shoulders. I've spoken to somebody now. I've got a plan. I can see light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And then we got started.
So you had the plan, and then, you know, we were lifting weights in the gym. What I liked was we always had quite good chat in the gym, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were always having quite a lot of fun.
Good fun.
And I think that's what fitness has got to be. It's got to be fun. So I always say to people, if you don't like going on a journey by yourself, join a community. Be with people who can make it fun and who can drive you forward, whether that's going to the gym with a mate or, you know, for example, with my online coaching, there's a community of people there, and have that goal to work towards. And we had that photo shoot goal, didn't we?
Yeah, I would say that was one of the biggest positives for me about having a PT, is because to start with, you was a PT.
Yeah.
But then before long, you was a friend.
Yeah.
And if you think back to when you're younger and you do stuff with your friends, it's far easier to motivate yourself to do something if you've got somebody to do it with you.
Yeah.
And I think that most people, as they get older and lose their friendship circle, they won't go gym and stuff like that because they don't have anyone to go with. And maybe they feel like, oh, it's too expensive to go to a PT and so on and so forth. But the value for me was, I don't look at money. Like, money's irrelevant to me because I knew what value it was going to bring to my life, and in me spending some money to go gym and so on and so forth, I gained you as a mate, and then I had somebody to essentially go gym with. You were showing me the right way to do things, which elevated the speed of the recovery to the body, and also in work and stuff like that, because I now started to have that disciplined routine again, I was doing better at work.
Yeah, you were smashing it with your sales around that time. You'd come in and you'd tell me all about like hitting the 20k month or something like that, or 30k month.
Yeah, 20k month, and you know, that comes from, again, like, mate, I'm done.
Yeah, we're done.
I'm done. What is that?
Mate, I just got fucking attacked by that. All right, guys, we've had a bit of an interruption because we're doing this at night time, and this giant bug, literally the size of my thumb, has just landed on my arm, smacked into me, freaked out Tony, and we're now like wearing
bigger than my arms.
All right, let's make this quick, mate. Fully out. Okay, so you gained me as a friend, and obviously you started going to the gym as a routine as well, and that really helped you in your life in general, didn't it? And I just want to touch on that a little bit with the self-improvement side of things. So because it was such a positive in your life, did you feel like with relationships, with work, for example, it really started to elevate things? I mean, you got your girlfriend around that time, didn't you?
Yeah, so I started to get back into confidence, and when you start to get into confidence, it portrays to other people, in my opinion. And when I was going out with, I'd started going out again with my mates and whatever, because I'd had a bit of time off it, because I was feeling shit. I didn't really want to be seen at certain times.
Yeah.
So I started to get some mad confidence back and started to feel like me again. And then I started to go out, and then I met somebody very, very quickly, to be fair. And I think it just comes down to the fact that I was in good shape, good headspace, and portraying that aura of confidence and so on and so forth. And so it elevated every aspect of my life, if I'm honest.
And then we did that photo shoot, and that was like the peak of your fitness, I'd say. When you look back at some of those photos, popping out. Right, so okay, we'll tell the story for everyone listening. We did that photo shoot after spending a week in Marbella. So I planned that photo shoot for like 14th of May or something like that. And we were in Marbella from like the 1st of May till the 7th of May. And we were looking at the date thinking, oh shit, are we going to be able to do this?
So close, wasn't it?
It was so close. But you know what? When we were in Marbella, we were fairly disciplined, weren't we? Because we were only drinking and then we were dancing a little bit. You get like 50,000 steps from that. So the fat loss was still good out there. I think if anything, I lost weight when I was in Marbella.
I think, and the heat as well. You're sweating, aren't you, and whatever. But obviously, we was eating a lot of food there, which didn't help.
Yeah, but we were burning it off was the main thing.
Yeah, and it was funny because it was so close. But at least we were nice and tanned for the photo shoot.
I didn't need to get a fake tan. Well, I never need to anyway because I'm Chinese. But you're Italian.
But yeah, it was timing. It could them photos could have been slightly better. Let's say that. I could have lost a little bit more. I could have lost a little bit more, but listen, I was happy with them. I felt like I looked fucking the best I've ever looked.
You looked really good, mate. You one of the top clients on that photo shoot. And what would you say was the secret to getting towards that photo shoot physique?
Consistency, discipline, motivation by you, and obviously you know what exercises to do. It's a shortcut, isn't it? If you work with a coach, it's the shortcut. Like I can go to the gym on my own if I'm motivated enough, and by luck get some of the exercises right, but I've got to go through that failure process. I've got to go through the process of finding out what's the best strategy and so on and so forth until you find what works, right? Until you find the perfect formula, or you just bypass it.
Oh my God, I could tell you so much about this. I see so many guys where, I'm not saying you need to sign up to a coach or sign up to me to get success.
I would say you do.
You think you need to?
Yeah, because I could go to the gym every day and lift weights, but if I don't have the right strategy or process in an order of how I should be doing it, it's going to take me forever. And in that circumstance, most people would give up.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say was I get guys who maybe would want to sign up for me, but for whatever reason don't sign up. And then they just make the same mistakes over and over again. They're not tracking their calories, for example, or sticking to certain meals.
Yeah.
They're not doing the right sort of workouts, or they're doing them inconsistently, and they just never really get anywhere. And one of my promises is like, if you want to do a fitness photo shoot, doesn't matter what you look like now, I will get you to that physique, no matter what, and I will make it the quickest process possible to get you there.
Yeah.
But you know what? I spent 7 years getting myself into shape. I think if I hadn't been so stubborn and I'd actually gone and gotten myself some help, like a coach or something like that, I would have done it in 3 years.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you know the thing that helped me is because I work in an industry where we sell personal development. We sell personal development for clients, coach clients in the construction industry, and the messages that we were saying to them, I started to think to myself, well, why am I not practicing what I'm preaching here?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, we tell people, get a coach because it's the shortcut. Joe always says, success leaves clues, kind of thing. That's his thing. And so when you're in that environment, that starts to get ingrained in your head as well. And you're like, why am I not sticking to what I'm telling people to do? And you feel like a bit of a fraud.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you're in that environment, you need to be a product of it. And so for me, it was like, well, I could do the same thing that our clients do. I can go and try it on my own and I'll get fucking limited results, and I'll get frustrated that nothing's happening, it's not happening quick enough, and then I'll give up.
Yeah.
Or I can just spend some of the money that I'm making, invest a little bit of money, get there 10 times quicker and feel good again. That's because for me, time's 10 times more valuable than money.
Yeah, so about feeling good.
Yeah.
people often think with gym it's about the vanity, it's
Yeah.
about the abs, it's about the big chest, it's about the bicep.
Uh-huh.
But I'd argue it's far more important the way you feel when you're in shape, the confidence that you get, and the energy levels that you have. What would you say about that?
Yeah, it's not about, like, for me, it wasn't about looking good. Like, it was about feeling good.
Yeah.
Like, because quite frankly, I didn't felt like I looked bad anyway. I'm 10 out of 10. Nah, I didn't feel like
There's only one 10 out of 10 here, mate.
I didn't feel like I looked bad anyway. I just felt like I started to feel like I was getting a bit out of shape. And I'm not the type of person that will wait until I'm fucking 20 stone before I start doing something.
Yeah, you don't let yourself get to that pit, do
No.
you? You kind of stop yourself before you get to that stage.
I can feel it coming, and I'm like, right, fucking
Well, that's where you
sort
need to
yourself
be,
out. Do
this is
something
where
about
you need
it.
self-awareness, because I do see men who are in the depths, like the absolute pits of their lives, way overweight, wife's just left them, girlfriend's just left them, whatever, and that's the moment where they've decided to come to me.
Yeah.
And what I want to say to them in that moment is, look, mate, why didn't you self-analyze yourself when you were starting to put on weight, when your woman was starting to disrespect you, and she didn't have the same feeling towards you? Maybe not just because you were putting on weight, but because of all the factors added together. You were putting on weight, which was getting you more lethargic, you weren't ambitious with your job. Why didn't you do something about it then? So it took a lot of self-analysis to realize, like, you weren't even in that bad shape.
No.
To then say, you know what, I need help. So don't worry, it's not the bug. So how come, where do you think that comes from?
I've always been able to, I've always been quite hard on myself. I played a lot of sports as a kid, and, you know, if I had a bad game, I didn't blame anybody else, it's my fault. You know, and I suppose it's brought up from there. I didn't know why I was like that. It's just my mindset. It wasn't taught to me, it was just how I was. And I've always been quite self-aware. You know, I always think if things are, I don't believe in luck. I think if things are going well, it's because I'm doing something to make it go well. I'm putting myself in the right environment. Like, if you can't win the lottery if you don't play it. Yeah. It's that analogy, right? And it was like, it's the same with work. It's like, I can work an average job and earn average money, but then I'll be pissed off. And whose fault is that? Is it mine, or is it the shit job? And it's like, people will be like, oh, well, it's the shit job. And I'm like, no, it's my fucking fault, because why am I in this job if it's so shit?
Exactly. Well, that's a good point, actually. Let's talk a little bit about money then, because people are often quite uncomfortable to talk about money. People don't like revealing their salaries or anything like that. I'm not asking for that, but I think people think that money is important for the wrong reasons. They think of the material things. They think someone's showing off. But what do you think money is really for? Why do you value money?
I don't even necessarily think it's about valuing money. For me, it was always about valuing status.
Okay.
And so, like, when I was younger, I realised from a young age, when you're, I did quite well with girls as a youngster. I didn't think that I was the best looking guy in the crew or anything like that. It was just because in that social circle at that time, it's like, if you've got a bit of a fighting reputation, let's say, for example, or you've got a bit of a sports reputation, then you've got that popularity. So you're the go-to guy, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of learn, when you've been in that environment, you kind of learn that as you get a little bit older, then suddenly, like, that isn't enough anymore. Like, it does you well while you're a kid, but then as you get older, then it's like you hit the territory of you're going town, and there's 30-year-olds there that are earning a lot more money than you, and they're more stacked than you, and then you're nowhere near on the pecking order. You know? So then it's like, well, what's going to elevate my status now? And then it's right, you need to get a good job that pays good money, so you can start to have nicer clothes, get a nicer car, and so on and so forth. And then that starts to elevate your status in the real world, because in the kids' world, it's like, have a few fights and be good at football or whatever, and you've got popularity. And that will be enough to get you some sort of status and respect. But as you go into the real world territory, is what I'll call it, now you're competing with, like, people that have been in this marketplace for a long, long time, and you're bottom of the food chain when you're like 18, 19.
So I think also with the status side of things, it's about the status, but it's also about providing a good life for your future. So, for example, I always invest into myself, business mentorship, trying to grow my business to earn more money, but also to help more people. And I think money is not about spending it on nice watches. I mean, it's nice to do stuff like that, but it's about building a future for yourself having an elevated mindset and also having a band of brothers around you.
Yeah.
Because when you elevate yourself with money, you get to hang around with higher status people.
Yeah.
And I find those type of people have really good ideas, really elevate my mindset, drive me to be further, and it makes me feel alive as a man. It gives me a bit of purpose. And then it's the security for your family as well. So you get to provide for your family a bit more, have that house that, you know, your wife and your kids can live in, and you can live in as well. That's what it is for me, as well as status.
See, like, I never looked at money as the thing that I wanted. I looked at the things that it could get me.
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
So whenever I've invested into myself, it's like, wow, I've really elevated my mindset. I've learned something that I wouldn't have learned otherwise.
For me, money was just the solution to get me what I wanted. It was like, some people don't understand that concept. They think chase money to have money in the bank, but then they're not doing enough they don't have a purpose for the money. So it's not enough to drive them to earn enough.
Or they think the purpose is something sinister, like to just show off or something like that. Because a lot of people get pissed off about that stuff. Like, if someone...
Well, let's be honest, if you've never had money and you don't have a plan for the money, why do you need to earn it? What are you going to spend it on?
Exactly.
So what are you actually chasing money for? To have a little bit of money in your bank? It's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And so money needs to be the byproduct. And so for me, it's like gym and everything like that, and always pushing myself at work has always been about elevating my status.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the money's not, it's not good having 100 grand in the bank. It's about elevating your status, because you can buy a nice car, you can buy a nice house, you can do things with the money. It's what am I going to spend the money on?
Yeah, 100%.
Why would you say that men need to be in shape?
Why do men need to be in shape?
Yeah, what's the value for them?
Oh my God, there's so much. I could go on a flipping monologue about this. So, first of all, I think your general confidence levels increase.
Yeah.
And that is going to impact every aspect of your life. If you're more confident in yourself, you're going to do better deals in your job. You're going to have better relationships with women. They're going to respect you more. Your peers are going to respect you more. You're going to have more of a brotherhood as well, because you're going to be able to hang out with higher value men. People don't think about this thing when they think about fitness. They just think, oh, it's all vanity, you know, abs, big chest, stuff like that. And that helps, because if you look good, I think you feel good, and people respect people that look good and, you know, are kept well. But I just think the confidence is massive. The energy levels that you'll get from working out, you invest that hour of time to work out, you don't come out of that workout feeling like shit. You come out of that workout with more energy, and then you go into the next day feeling a little bit fitter. And mate, especially for a job like sales, for example, you're on the phone with a bit more tonation in your voice, a bit more energy in your voice. You might hit a sale that you might not otherwise hit. And then for relationship stuff, women like a guy who's in shape, don't they?
Yeah.
They think they don't care. Some of them think they don't care, for example, but it will never be a negative. Unless you're fucking jacked, obviously, and you're too big. But women will never look at a man who's in shape and think, oh, he's too in shape.
Yeah.
They will always look at a man who's not in shape, though, and a few of them will go, oh, he's not in shape, he's not for me. So there's no negative to being in shape. The only logical decision is to be in shape, because you'll have a better relationship with your woman, with women in general.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about, like, if you're in a relationship right now. If your wife looks at you, driving yourself better, making yourself, you know, more energetic, more confident, she's going to respect you more. Your kids are then going to look up to you and think, oh, my daddy's a fit daddy. He's one that goes to the gym. There's no negatives to it. And all you got to do is invest an hour of your time, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, into it, and you get all the benefits out of it.
Yeah.
So you can make the decision then. Do you want to be that guy that sits at home watching shitty Love Island? What value do you get out of Love Island, other than like an hour of entertainment? What value do you get out of it? Absolutely nothing. What value do you get out of an hour of fitness?
Yeah.
Everything I've just talked about. A man has got to be in shape.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
For me, it's, let's go back to the point where you said about your women respect you more and so on and so forth. I don't even know if it's that. I just think as a man, you need to be able to keep your woman on on her toes.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it's the like, when you're a man that's in shape, a woman's always going to be fearful that she can lose you.
Yeah, because you're getting more attention.
Because you're getting more attention, right? And I think if you're the guy that just makes it so easy at home, you start to lose your physique. Then there's no fear of loss.
Yeah.
And in sales, you always understand that fear of loss is important.
It's psychology.
It's
Isn't it?
psychology, yeah. And when you said about sales and fitness, you know, I agree with that. I think that for me, sales is such an up and down roller coaster of a job, because 1 minute you're smashing it, you're making loads of sales, the next minute you're not, and it's so up and down, up and down, up and down. And the key thing that Jim gives you in that kind of role is the discipline. Because it's like when you go to the gym,
that bit, discipline.
yeah,
That's huge.
It's like when you go to the gym, it's like you don't fucking want to go to the gym and lift weights. Like it's boring. For me personally, it's boring.
No, I find it boring as well, mate. I don't turn up to the gym to entertain myself.
No, it's boring. But when you're doing it, it's the fact that you've disciplined enough to do something that you didn't want to do. And for me, it was always like that. Like when I first came training with you, it was like the only reason why I came is because I had you to come to.
Yeah.
Because to go on my own, I wouldn't have had that level of discipline, because I'm not that disciplined with something that I don't necessarily enjoy.
Yeah.
And fitness for me isn't there to be enjoyed. It's there to keep your mind active, keep you in that alpha mindset. You know, when you feel strong, when you feel strong, you feel confident as a man. And so going to the gym always gives you that air of arrogance anyway, which gives you the air of confidence, which then portrays onto people around you. And so it's just, like you said, it only has a positive. There's no negatives to it.
I don't think there's anything else I really want to touch on, mate. I wanted to make this quite a short one.
Yeah.
Would you recommend me, mate?
So, would I recommend Dom Wells? Yeah, of course I would.
Well, you're standing in my garden, mate.
Yeah, no, listen, it's been a game changer for me. It's helped me with my job, with my confidence again. It's helped me become the person who I used to be, probably a better person than I used to be fair. And, you know, the training's been fantastic. The support's been fantastic. The friendship's been great as well. Average. Nah, the friendship's been fantastic
at least
too.
above average, mate.
No, it's been fantastic too. And so, would I recommend it? Absolutely. I don't think you can put a value on having mentors in any sector. So don't think about money. Get yourself a coach, even if it's not Dom. Start working with somebody.
No, it's got to be Dom.
It's got to be Dom.
It's got to be Dom.
Okay, well, other mentors do exist, is what we like to
No,
say.
they
at
don't,
our
mate.
place.
They don't exist.
Other mentors do exist, but from my experience,
I'm joking.
Dom is the fucking man,
man.
Dom is the man, and he will, you know, get you where you need to be, and just don't think about it. Just
I appreciate that, mate. Really appreciate that. And I've got to say, I'm an online coach nowadays, so for me, like training people in person, it's never about the money anymore, because that hourly rate that I charge, it's almost not worth my time sometimes. But I only train people that I really like hanging around, people that elevate my mindset. And I've got to say, you're one of them, which is why I always have time for you, mate.
I appreciate it.
I don't take on new in-person clients anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that is the Wells Fit podcast, episode 5. Tony Sulla, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate the recommendation as well. We're getting attacked by bugs right now, so we're going to wrap this up before.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of it.
Mate, I'll fry one up for you. We are in a Chinese household after all. You want some cricket? All right, let's not get cancelled. See you guys. Thank you.
Cheers.